In last video we have discussed about the test case, which if you will submit a form, if it means if you will change the value from of the user and password, it means from the form field, and if you click the button, then form will get submitted, and since form will get submitted, you will get it. If the form is valid, then as per their logic, as you can see, if form is valid, then it will call the API services post data method, and then it will return one observable that you are subscribing, and that value whatever within this observable you are getting, you are just collecting this value, assigning to this data. Okay, so this data have the information whatever you are returning. So you have checked these things. So let's now, in the last video we have checked via console log. So for passing the test case, you have to use it like this, expect, and then here you will write here a fixture dot component instance dot data, and this data will be equivalent to this one. So let's copy object. So for comparing the object, you can use the to equal, and then within that you can add it like this. So now in this way test case will get passed. Okay, so let's try to write another scenario of this test case, which is suppose the form field is invalid. So in that scenario, forms should not be submit successfully. Okay, how you will know that form is not successfully submitted? Because if the form will be invalid, then it will not enter in this particular if condition. It means the data will be undefined, because without getting any data, you you will get definitely undefined. So yeah, I hope you are able to understand. So let's check it. So now I am going to add another test case, which is the it. I have to write it method, and then there is the message you have to pass in the form of a string. So here the message can be form not submitted, something like that. And then there will be a callback, something like that. Now how you can check? So just try to replicate these things. Otherwise you can also do with the help of the component. Okay, component instance, you can set the value. So let's in this case we will try to use this one. It means from the component side. So here I set the value, and now after setting the value, I will use the component dot submit. So manually I am clicking this, it means calling this method, which is the submit. Okay, now in this case the form will be invalid. So making it, I hope that this will be invalid. Yes, because the pattern is not matching. You can see the pattern is something, it will be small letter A to Z and 0 to 9. So it definitely the form will invalid. So I click here, call the method, which is a submit. I am just showing you for your demonstration that how you can access a particular method and a property of the component, or if you want to use a template URL section, then how you will use it. So basically if you will able to use these things, then you will feel much easier, and you can write a test case. Okay, any scenario you can write, and further you can also debug or try to do certain investigation, and in this way you will learn the unit testing. Now here but yes, after the submit I have to do detect change. So writing here the fixture dot detect change. See, sometimes it's very important. If you will miss these things, then sometimes the changes you made a changes but it will not get reflected, and you may forget to add this change detect change method. Okay, so sometimes it will be happen, so be careful. And then again here I will check suppose that expect, in expect we will add, so we will check that this particular service, from this particular service post data method is called or not. This will only get called, only get invoked if the form field is valid. If not valid, then it will not enter in this particular section. So we can check these things as well. So in expect we will use the spy object, spy spy API, which is basically the instance which we have created from the create spy object for the API service, and then dot post data. So you will hear the surprise that whenever you will submit the form, suppose in this scenario whenever you will submit the form, then form gets submitted, but this is not used this particular service, this is used whatever you have described it here. Okay, and this is just a duplicate of the service, real service. So remember, I hope you notice these things. Then you will check that this is called or not. So you can write like this, to have been called. So it called or not, or there are certain other method you can use. For example, we can write like this, and to have been called times, means how many times it get called. So you can write a 0 if it means if user field is invalid, then it doesn't make any sense. Okay, post data will not get called, so you can add it 0 because 0 times it get called. And similarly you can check with this measure method, which is the expect, and then here I am going to write component dot init form dot invalid. If it is invalid, then it equal to true or not, so write it to equal true or to be true, you can write to be as well. So let's see the test case is getting passed or not. So you can see in the terminal that test case is get passed. Okay, one get failed, which is the app component form not submitted successfully failed. So probably if I am suspecting because of this one, so just let's comment and check that it is getting passed or not. So now all the test case get passed. So but why this is not worked here in this scenario? Because the previously this method, if you will run this particular test case, which is the form submit the form successfully, in this scenario actually this get called. Okay, actually this get called, it means the post data get called because you have clicked this method and submit method get called. So that's why it is showing that yes, 0 times it, maybe I am suspecting this because of this. So now all of this test case get passed in this case, but yes, if I will remove these things and if I will cancel and if I will try to run the test case once again, let's see what will be the output. So it get failed because it says that spy API service the post data to have been called 0 times, it was called 1 time. So maybe because of the uh, previous test case. So just remove this one because this is not working here. So I hope you understand that how you can make you can write a unit test case. If you will face any problem related to this, then please let me know through the comment section. Okay, I have to remove this one as well because again test case get failed because 1 time it get called. Now if you will check it is invalid or not, of course it will be invalid. Okay, so test case will get passed. So we can do a different thing as well, different thing here, which is the init. We will not write here the init form, but we will use here the data. In the data, the value should be undefined. Okay, so write it undefined. To be, we can write here a to be. Undefined. Let's see what will be the output. So now you can see that test case is get passed, all of this test case. Previously you are getting it was not work like to be called, to have been called, or how many times it get called, like to have been called times. This is not work because you can see the test case is running in the random manner, because in the option you can check that test run in the random order, and in the app component submit the form successfully, first this one runs. So I am suspecting that since it is run, so actually this method triggered. Similarly you can see form not submitted successfully, after that it get called. So actually this method get triggered previously, that's why it was showing. In this way you can write a unit test case in Angular. If you will face any problem, then please let me know through comment section. Thank you very much for watching.